matter if you know it's coming, he can still make it work. And with that, he did. He's just so meticulous in stopping the scouting, just owning the game almost, owning the map, owning that map control, and from there, able to trick his opponent, get the slight advantage, and from there, in PvP, mirror match, if you get slight advantage, you're able to take the win. Map number 2 will be Catallena here.
Yeah, it's so hard to actually block those stalkers from going up. All right, guys, let's go into it right now here on Catallena.
Down here in the bottom right, in the red, he's up 1-0. It is Super.
And up here the top right, in blue, for KT Rollster, it's Stats. And from Oscaras Fours, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but on Twitter, gave me really interesting little information about Stats that I didn't know. You guys might not have known either. But Stats is actually also Stats spelled backwards. So
Whoa.
his name is like palindrome. That's the word for this.
I
like
think
Hannah,
so, yeah.
like race car.
Noon.
Noon.
I'm like, Moon.
I'm like, not Moon, but
Not
no.
Moon, not the famous Warcraft 3 player.
Who's also quite famous in StarCraft 2 very temporarily.
Yeah.
So a much faster. Actually, no, not really. I was gonna say much faster gate, but not actually not at all.
No, just your basic 13 gate here. Gonna go standard on this bigger map for both players.
Yeah, I was looking at the mineral count. I think just one queued the probe faster than the other or something. It's gonna be tricky. But
Tricking us commentators.
always trying to do that. Always messing with me. So, a faster scout. Actually, no, I'm just wrong again. It was a slightly faster scout.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it is faster, but
Technically, you weren't wrong. Yeah.
he's actually going to scout correctly, whereas the scout of Super will go the wrong direction.
Yeah. In the end, I don't think it's going to matter too much. You know, that probe should be able to get in the base before the stalker comes out, so he should still be able to get that scouting information down.
Now, the probe's going to come in here, C2 and 2, and is just going to, I guess, harass the mineral line a little bit.
Yeah. Looks like Stats, I think. Well, actually, I may just be wrong here.
About what?
I thought he was putting the 2 in, or rather more probes in gas, but looks like he was going 2 and 2 for a while, but now he's going 3.
Yeah. Second gate goes down for him as well. That's something that Super skips entirely. Also, probably partially due to the fact that there was a probe scout in his base, so it would have been really obvious. And now when you make a mothership core, it's kind of like, okay, he doesn't have a second gate, he doesn't have tech, he's not going to have tech for a while. That's what you gain. You're like, okay, I have no idea what his tech's going to be, but it's not fast because he made a mothership core. And that's 100 gas on drain.
Yeah.
And, you know, he's not starting it till I leave.
Well, Stat's not really seeing that probe, but Super is going to get a decent scout here. Sees the second gate coming up here. Of course, no tech with this build. And Super back at home for him. He's just going with the Twilight Council.
Yeah, typical Super. Let's see if he goes into that blink right away. Most likely going to be the case. Look at how the timing lines up here is adding an extra gate. Look at the minerals and the blink timing. Boom, lines up perfectly. Chrono boosting out that warp gate research right now, so we can get a few more warped in stalkers early, just like we saw in game 1.
Does he put down that third gate? Super does. I would assume he does with this build. You know, pretty similar build to the last one, but again, Stats going with that double gate. Gonna have out the faster stalkers here, and for now, it looks like Super just going with that one gate.
Yeah, this is what the 2 gate gives you. It gives you so much extra pressure potential, and you can scare Super a lot with this. Yeah, and then the third gate finishes. He's got so much pushing power. He wants to bait out that Nexus cannon as soon as possible. He's even going to fight 2 versus 3 here for a second, but Super is not scared. He pushes this back without the cannon, and when his blink finishes, he's going to be in a really good spot. It's actually crazy how well he's been able to do against this type of build. He's just so confident.
He's just not scared of anything. Finally puts down that third gate. He's making sentries. He needs that force field. There it is.
There it
That's
is.
it, separates it, and now he can fight here. 2 Stalkers versus 2.
That time warp making it a lot tougher, but still, good micro here. Tries to get that Stalker. He's not going to get it. Maybe get a sentry. Not before the force field goes down.
Very nicely done here. This Blink is going to be coming out any second now as well. Has to be careful not to lose that Mothership Core, though.
Well, he knows the Nexus Cannon is up at top of the ramp. I don't even know if that force field was necessary. I'd welcome him up the ramp at that point, especially with my Blink about to be finished. Dark Shrine, though. This is something that could break him. It's going to cost him a lot, though. He's going to need 3 DTs to do this because he's going to need an Archon. Assuming that he commits to trying to break up that ramp.
But again, you know, Super back at his base. He's adding a 4th gate here even. He wants just a ton of production and nothing else.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, and now with that Blink finished, he may be confident to move out here with the Nexus. And he's not back at home defending with no detection right now against the DTs. He could definitely sustain a ton of losses.
Yeah. Oh, he sees the pylon.
Oh, that
really...
scout is so good.
In fact, okay, so another pylon goes down, but I don't think you should even warp in here. Robo goes down instantly. He's like, I think you're up to something. I need a Robo anyways.
Yeah.
This isn't going to work out for him. It's too slow now.
Yep.
That pylon is so far away.
Wasn't even made when the DT Shrine was done.
He's got sentries.
He's at the top of the ramp. Yeah.
He knows. He's like, okay, this is the oldest trick in the book. I know what's up. That's also having a similar fear because he doesn't have any detection at all. Not even on the way.
Yeah. Only makes 1 DT here.
Sees it. So easy to hold. Poor little Stalker. Guess he's just going to have to wait a second, then blink up.
Well, he does get the scout on the Nexus. That is one thing, you know.
Brent, you ever take a meat cleaver to a building?
I haven't, but I've seen DTs do it all the time.
Takes a while.
Yeah.
He is working on those shields. And he's trying to do some cute micro here. But there's the obs, and in fact, he should be able to trap this with force fields if he tries to run. Or just blink, whatever he wants.
Yeah, whatever works.
The blink is better because it conserves energy.
Yeah. And look at the situation in the game right now. Nexus is so much farther ahead for Super. He's got the probe count way ahead. Has the units. He can hold the ramp as well. Looks like Stats is actually going to go for an attack here. He's got a ton of Blink Stalkers as well.
Or rather, he needs to stop the blink by force fielding. He's very slow on this. This could change the game quite a bit. Got a lot of Stalkers up on the high ground. More force fields going down. A little bit of an awkward situation here for Stats. And there's the Nexus Cannon. And now he's got a bit of an awkward situation on his hands. He needs to blink away, but he's taken so much Nexus Cannon fire. Now the Stalkers of Super are almost ready to go for a counter blink, go for the chase. Look at how far ahead he is in supply. I mean, he almost could really, just with reinforcements, start to take a fight. Stalkers can catch up really quick in a pinch.
Yeah.
That Nexus is just now finishing. Back it on for Stats. Super just really molds the early game into his world. And if you allow it to become Super's map, if you allow it to become this situation where you have to make decisions on the fly based on Super's aggression, based off of what Super has done to you, in this case, his confidence, his hold against that 3-gate attack with Blink at the top of the ramp with less units, there's that confidence that he had there. Yeah. If you allow him that, man, you're in trouble.
I got to tell you, man, I'm getting like some slight chills here just watching Super because I can swear to you right now, he looks even better than the last time we saw him playing the PvPs. He looks even better. You know, Stats was looking good in his PvPs against Yoan and his group as well, but Super rather is just, he's looking on a whole nother level. He's just controlling both of these games.
And the thing is, Stats is not making any mistakes. A lot of what we saw from Stats in his PvP, you know, his matches against Youngwai. He only played against Youngwai, so his PvY, if you will, was just a lot of nervousness, a lot of weird mistakes. We're not seeing that today. It's just that Super is actually just playing so well.
Yeah.
Like he did in his
He's just
group.
Playing better. So it's coming down to here. Super might get his obs sniped there. Kind of bad timing going over right as the obs comes out of Stats. Kind of unfortunate there.
Well, the +1 is finished now. It's going to allow him to kill his pylon a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Even.
He's got 3 Immortals out here. He's going to have Colossi in the way as well. What does Stats have? He's way behind. He has no Immortals. He's just now getting his Robo Bay. He's going to try to be cute with the Warp Prism, possibly, trying to get some DTs in the base.
There's a cannon in the main, though. These Stalkers are
prepared
spotted,
for everything.
so...
He's just like... Jesus.
I wouldn't go that far, but yeah.
Well, I don't know.
So, I mean, Warp Prism, it's still hidden. Gonna go Zealot first. That cannon, if he targets it down with the Zealots and warps in DTs, could do some damage, especially with that Observer Snipe. And he wants to make Colossi right now on his Robos, so he's not got a lot of. He's not as flexible with his Robo production. He wants to make Colossi all the time. He wants to get so far ahead in that. Only one cannon here, and not even covering those pylons that are powering the gates. So that could be another target.
Looks like Super actually wants to move out of his base. And talk about bad timing. I'm not sure if he's even got any units back at home besides that cannon.
I don't think so. He's got no vision either of the right side of the map.
Yeah, and right now Stats is a lot of gateways powering up here. Could go for a huge warp-in as a follow-up, especially if Super doesn't have something back at home.
Yeah. Let's see. He's still just waiting. He's waiting to wait until the last second when Super commits to the fight. That Stalker got bonked.
Not even blunked, he got bonked.
Okay, this is a big, scary push. Okay, gonna drop now on top of this cannon. Only one cannon here. Big DT warping could be a big problem here. And he doesn't warp in anything. In fact, the Nexus cannon is active. For one Colossus versus one Colossus, these Immortals are doing a lot of work here. A ton of Zealots warping in. Does Super have enough? I think he might. He blinks forward on top of that Colossus.
And he has so many Immortals in the back, just doing a ton of damage. Even if they are fighting the Zealots, he just has way too much stuff.
Well,
look at all those Zealots
probes
as well.
And now he can just target down this Nexus.
Look at the supply.
Yep.
Oh, man.
That's going to be game. I mean, he just swung the hammer here. He was way ahead. That drop was scary, but
GG.
GG indeed. He just wasn't fazed by it. There was no warp-ins available. I guess maybe he panicked for a second when the attack came, so he didn't even have warp-ins to use at the warp prism. Or maybe he was like, he might have an observer here. Do I really want to commit resources right now? I'm about to die.
Yeah. And let me tell you, Invasion Esports, they just got a huge pickup in Super, man.
Yeah, pretty nice pickup, man. Pretty sweet.
This guy's just looking better and better every day I see him. I mean, Stats, we talk about how his PvP is pretty good. Super just looks on another level today, especially. He looks on point, man.
I gotta say, MVP fans are probably thinking to themselves, like, I hope MVP tries to partner with Invasion so they can have him back in Pro League. Well, one win away now is Super.